everyone, and welcome to another edition of Starting 11 here on the Let's Get Ready Network. I'm Adelia, this is my buddy Snark, and we're here to talk about the latest match week in the English Premier League. Snark, how are we doing today?
We're not doing well. We aren't doing well. It's one thing to cry yourself to sleep after not getting much sleep the night before, and then having to get up at bloody 5:30 in the morning so I can watch a football game. And then we'll talk about what happened. And then crying myself to sleep while my wife and kids ridiculed me. No, not been a great week. Not been a great
Wow.
weekend. Mind you,
I had a good
they were
weekend.
gonna laugh and ridicule me anyways. It's just that the unfortunate bit about the game or whatever. It was just the icing on the cake, I guess, for it.
I had a good weekend.
Oh yeah, is that right?
I did not cry myself to sleep.
Well, uh, we'll start talking about the game. Well, why don't we just start talking about the game, guys? We're talking Chelsea v Arsenal at the Bridge, and one of the most lifeless experiences I've ever had watching my football team play, who were truly terrible. They were awful.
Yeah, they were not
There was
good.
this was and this isn't to go too far. Before we start going any further, Arsenal was not great. They weren't good.
No,
They
no.
still deserved to win by 5, and they were terrible. That's how awful Chelsea was. They had nothing. There was nothing. There was no fight. There was nothing. They couldn't string passes together. They would. They'd
Yeah.
finally start moving in, and then in the first 10 minutes they were fine. Sterling running in has a chance. He's on the wing. Alba opens himself. Or sorry, Sterling gave it to Havertz. Havertz is coming in. Alba finds a spot in the box, and Havertz tries this looping shot from near the touchline to go in. It goes way wide. That was our best chance of the day. Our best chance
I was
because there
thinking
was
about this game
nothing.
earlier. I couldn't remember a save that Ramsdale made. I know he made at least
No,
one,
no. Well,
but
it would come. It would come to him to say save and just be in
yeah,
the way or whatever. So it was it was not a taxing effort for Aaron
yeah,
Ramsdale on Saturday. Uh,
it really
I got a
wasn't.
question. I got a question.
Sure.
Do you think Mark Cucurella will ever complete a pass in this league? Because I'm not sure
It
I'll ever see
certainly
it.
doesn't look that way. He has been terrible for Chelsea ever since you guys signed him. And you guys
And
paid a lot of money for him too.
they paid a lot of money, and it was his. And we have his coach from when he was there decided, oh, we should get the whole gang together here for this. Yeah, it's not really working out. There's a lot of injuries, so they went to a back four for whatever. Thiago Silva in a back four
That
for
surprised
whatever
me.
reason. Yeah. Thiago Silva is, yeah, he's our best defender. I don't think
Thiago
there's
Silva
any
was your
question
best
about that.
player.
Well,
He was
but
your
in the game,
best
by far.
player.
Oh yeah, there was,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not even close. But yeah, he's not really fit for a back four. He's a back three guy. That's where he excels. So they, you know, and they take out, Abba in the 60th minute. They bring Broa in, who's much better, but it was far too late. Does Oba did Oba was talking quite a bit before the match, talking
Yeah.
how London is blue and it should be blue. Go into the history of things. Um, but it was not on this day, and he looked terrible. And
I
he is
think
a
he had 8
striker.
touches in the whole
Yeah,
game.
yeah. He's a player. Like Chelsea strikers, traditionally have the ball at their feet and keep it at their feet. You look at guys like Drogba, you look at guys like Diego Costa, tough, powerful men, like to control the ball near and in the box. Is is he allergic to the football? Because as soon as it comes near him, he seems to get rid of it. It's one way or another. He does not have an eye for goal right now, but no one does. No
No.
one on this team does. And sure, there's injuries and stuff like that, but there is £100 million sitting on the bench, I think, right now. There is a lot. So, and it's going to come down to, well, I think I said it last week. We have the best parts for all the different types of cars, and we just can't fit it into one. There's got to be changes at some point, but this isn't, you know, this isn't Graham Potter's team yet. This is the one he inherited on a wild spending spree between a man who decided he would be his own sporting director and a coach that he didn't want to keep, which is
Yeah.
flabbergasting. Why, why sign over if you're just gonna sack Tuchel that week? Just because you can sign guys doesn't mean you have to. There's a team called Newcastle. We can talk about them later. Seem to be getting it. Um, oh, and the team that Chelsea gets to face next week. So not only have they lost their last two, but only 2 points in the last four in the league, and they get Newcastle before the break for the goddamn World Cup, so they get to sit on it for an extra month. Oh my goodness, not well in West London. How is it a little further north?
Much better.
Yeah,
It's much better.
yeah.
We did not play a stellar game against you guys, but we did enough to. I've seen many people calling it a 1-0 battering. I don't know if I quite agree with that,
No.
but you guys didn't look really like at all like you were gonna score on us, and we had at least I can think of that Gabriel Jesus header he missed that should have made it at least another goal.
Yeah, yeah. There was a few, uh, and he wasn't even really like Saka played so well.
Saka
I
played
think
really
he was,
well.
yeah, I think he was your best player on the day, but it was a day where everybody there only had to give about 60%.
Yeah,
Chelsea gave nothing. So you guys could go half speed. I'd say that, uh, if nothing else, the Blues were gracious hosts on set, on Sunday.
yeah.
Yeah, awful. It was awful. Uh, it's a game uh, we'll, uh, I don't think we'll forget, but in all the wrong reasons. And
This game is
Arsenal's,
nothing like the game at Stamford Bridge last year. The game last
you
year was
know,
back and forth and open ended, and there was good goals. This was nothing like that.
Arsenal seems to have Chelsea's number here over the last little while too. They've been playing
Yeah,
really
I
well
think this
against
is
them.
the third season in a row we've beaten you guys at the bridge.
Yeah, uncool. It was uncool. Well, that's it. I'm no longer a football fan. I'm gonna start watching cricket. Uh, what are the? Is there a cricket starting 11? Is that how many they do? Can we
No,
just switch to cricket?
no.
Fine. Okay, we'll keep at it. At least, and this is going off, and not just me on a tirade that Chelsea couldn't do shit. This was the worst match of the week. There were plenty of good matches to watch, plenty of exciting matches. Uh, could talk Leeds and AFC Bournemouth, which was a hell of a match. I don't know how much you saw of this, but Leeds gets the 1 goal lead early, and then Bournemouth would score three in a row. And the
Yeah,
third one they scored, uh, who was it? Solanke, I think it's Solanke, a nifty little back heel tick or whatever, and in. That was about the 40. Was it 47? Like just after it was just after the second half started, and then would sit back for whatever reason. Sam Greenwood would come on. He would score 6 minutes later. He would set up the tying goal, and then the winner, and what was almost at the death, uh, uh, a pass. It was passed from Minato uh, to Somerville of all fucking people who was left like just one on one
him
pacing
again.
up there. Yep. He's been but last week that winning goal, that weird soft bounder though I was talking about. It only looked like he was just pretending to kick it, and it kind of goes in. This one was a good strike and off a beautiful through ball. Mark Kukurea, if you're watching, that's how you put balls in space. Because yeah, uh, fantastic finish. Um, Maybe have saved Jesse Marsh's job there because I think there was some singing going on in the stands that he wasn't going to last him. So a hell
Yeah,
of a way to finish for the. I believe he's the only American manager in the Premiership. I believe so.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah, but good win, famous win. Now, City and Fulham. No Mitrovic again. So
Yeah.
the, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough on Fulham, which is whatever. If it's tough on Fulham, you know I'm not gonna lose any sleep over that. But uh, City goes out, scores. The guy they sat Holland to start the game anyways, and they had Alvarez come on for him. He's the guy who gets the goal, and then a few minutes later, Uh, they're like the only chance that Fulham had gotten themselves in the first half. Guy runs
Yep.
into the box, and Joe Cancelo decides to absolutely body check this guy like hockey, like removing the boom like this. It was crazy.
Yeah.
The announcer says, "Oh, gave him a little bit of a push," like it was nothing. It's like usually his head stabbed. I was like, "What?" I was like,
It
"Oh,
was
gave him a
more
little
than
bit of
a
a push, did
little
he?"
bit of a push.
Give me a break. So yeah, so they get the penalty, they convert. Um, After that, like
Cancelo got sent off,
even
didn't
the
he?
yeah, he gets red carded, rightly so. But after that, it's all City. It didn't matter if they were 10 men. It's like
Yeah.
it was 12 against. Yeah, they could have. Yeah, Fulham could have 12 guys on the pitch. It wouldn't have mattered. It was all City. There was nothing that Fulham could do. But give them credit. Like they kept scratching and clawing, kept themselves in there until was it the second minute of extra time, and De Bruyne. It I haven't seen a shot that convinces me that his foot actually got touched by maybe the toe or
Yeah.
something like that on that play. But De Bruyne absolutely spins. Like if Kurt Browning would have done that, he would have won a gold medal. For God's sakes, instead of never hitting the pedestal. Sorry, this is a Canadian figure skating burn. Kurt Browning, a guy who never amounted to much, but
Yeah.
could he hit the
I
triple
saw
Lutz?
that. That De Bruyne spin and go down, and I was like, he's gonna give
How do you
that.
call it? How do you call that? After all the stuff, yes, don't get me
I mean,
wrong.
yeah,
City deserves 3 points. They should have had it way earlier. I thought that Holland actually had put one in and called it back on VAR as offside, and I don't believe it. I think he's still
I didn't
offside.
see that as offside.
I don't know how they call that offside. So I don't know if this is a ref trying to even things out or something like that. But he was adamant that was at the spot. He was as far away. It was the other side of the pitch from it. Ugh, that's a tough call to make. That's something you just don't do. Anyways,
Yeah.
Holland steps up and just squeaks it in. That was
I I I
close.
watched his run up, and I was like, even if Leno presses the right way, he's not gonna get this because he's gonna hit it with too much power, and he did.
He
You could
said
tell
after the
Leno thought
game
he
that's
should have saved that. He dove the
He
right
should have.
way.
He should have. It kind of just bounces under him, like just gets under him.
Yeah,
And I guess Holland said that was the most nervous he's ever been on a soccer pitch. Like, what? Really? What's this
that's
week
against Fulham.
13? And yeah.
That's
What?
weird.
Yeah. A little bit odd. Uh, but yeah, correct result. The way it got there though is icky.
Yeah,
And
I
oh
was
boy,
um I was listening to the Two Robbies podcast, which is the Robbie Earl and Robbie Musto who do commentary for NBC here in the US.
sure.
And Robbie Earl goes, I think Manchester City could play the entire season with 10 men and win the league. And I was like, well, after that performance, I could see that.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
they wouldn't
agree
be.
with it,
They
but I
wouldn't be
could
Arsenal.
see
They
why you're
wouldn't beat
saying
Arsenal.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, they could beat all the lower clubs and stuff like that. They wouldn't beat Newcastle like that. They wouldn't beat. They wouldn't
Mm-mm.
beat Arsenal. Would they beat Tottenham? Yeah, maybe. That's on you, Tottenham. Uh,
Oh,
yeah. So
Tottenham.
yeah. Oh yeah. I was gonna say like those announcers love Manchester City. They
Yes,
love
they
them.
do.
They could do no
Yes, they
wrong.
do.
It's like, oh my god, you guys get a room. This is getting uncomfortable to listen to. Anyways, that's that's for critiquing the commentators, which is whatever. Uh, Forest and Brentfield. Forest get a win. All right. Against the Bees. But at home, it was a needed 3 points. They're still hanging out near the bottom and stuff like that. But yeah, good on good on Forest.
It was a
Like
game. It was,
it was,
it was decent.
yeah. Uh, yeah, he played well. Yeah, yeah. It was a when you looked on the calendar this
Brent,
week, you weren't
yeah.
gonna
Brentford
circle
were, yeah, not going to circle that
Brentford
as
and
the best
Forest.
game of the week. No.
No.
Brentford were so close to having their first away win of the season in that
Well,
tying goal.
yeah. Well, that the winning goal was as odd as anything. Like that header, it goes off the goalie, goes off the other guy, goes to Ben Mee to clear it, hits his buddy in the knees, and it comes back. And again, it's another one of those things where VAR said it went over. But much like that goal that went against Chelsea, I haven't seen a replay that proves it. Like that goes all the way over. I don't know. Kind of another. All right, it's Forest and Brentford. No one's gonna
Yeah.
go crying and stuff like that to their MPs about it. But you know, it was an interesting finish. Wolves and Brighton in Hove Albion, and look how well they're doing with the new coach. Another win for Brighton Hove Albion, Graham Potter's former side. They just seem to be playing well. Uh, yeah, again, not much to say about that except Pascal Gross gets the winner. Pascal Gross, famously my favorite name to spell in the English Premier League. It's that weird
Yeah.
B. It's like it's
Yeah.
easier just to write two S's, guys. But you know, I guess if you can
It's
find the
German.
letter, you can find that letter somewhere or whatever. Put it on there because I don't know.
Yep.
I don't even know what button on the computer to push for it. Would it be like hold down the B or hold down an S?
I
Doesn't
don't
make
know.
any sense to me. It doesn't make a lick of sense. Speaking of Everton, Leicester, Foxes get another win. Uh, Everton blanked at Goodison Park.
Yeah.
That first goal, Tielemans' goal, was
Tielemans' goal was
uh,
the beauty.
was a fantastic strike. Um, Barnes's second goal, that was a good one too. Like kind of like a twist around in the box and stuff. But the Tielemans' goal from outside the box, come on. That's why you guys watch soccer. Like the Frenchman, he hasn't had many goals this year either. So good on him. What next? Villa, Man U, and
This
the puzzle
was
that
so
is Man U.
surprising to me.
Yeah. Uh, Emery's first match in charge. He's been around for a
Mhm.
while. Couldn't show up because of visa-related stuff. That ended November 1st. He was on the touchline for this, looking dapper. And he wasn't wearing one of those stupid sweater things that stupid Steven Gerrard used to wear all the time. Uh, uh, Dean's gets that goal off that free kick, which is another nice one. Yeah, I got a few
Yeah.
nice shots from outside the box went in this week. It seemed to be the thing. Unless you're Chelsea Arsenal, where Chelsea just parts like the Red Sea to let a freaking corner come in
That,
again.
yeah.
But come on, you didn't have to bring that up again, Adelia. Uh, well, yeah. Ramsey puts one in his own net and puts one in to the actual net he needed to go to in that one. So
Yeah.
Ramsey had a full day of own goals and proper goals. So
I'm
good for him, I
curious
guess.
how Unai's going to do with Villa because they have some talent on that team. Coutinho, you know, I just it seems such an odd fit to me that he's going to
I
go
don't get
from
it.
coaching in the Spanish league, a team that is in the Europa League, to Villa. And like he seems very happy to be back in the Premier League, and maybe that's where
Maybe
he
he got
wants to be. But
well. He was at Villarreal, right? So maybe he just got
yeah,
mixed up. Maybe he went to go sign a new contract or something like that, and he got bored halfway through or something like that, and didn't see that it stopped at Villa, and
yeah.
didn't have the
I
Real part.
I will say this for Unai Emery, he is a very good coach. Like he can win the Europa League within his sleep. Sometimes it seems like with some of these teams that he's had. The Arsenal thing, I don't blame it not working entirely on him. I mean, he had a group of players that were just not very good, and I don't think anybody coming in after Wenger left was going to succeed with that group of players. So that's why I'm really curious to see how he does. Now, it could be a
It,
disaster by the end of the season, but I just don't think it will be because it seems like Villa, ever since Gerrard got fired, has played much better in certain games. They're
yep,
scoring goals like crazy.
yeah, they can put the fucking ball in the net, unlike another club that's not too far from them. Um, well, he's gonna have some time now. Like they got this week. We got the World Cup coming up in 2 weeks, guys. So
Yeah,
that's a month off, then a month to play, and then the window opens up again. So we'll see what kind of magic he can work there. Um, I know there's a lot of players coming on that could be available. Um, I'm- like I'll say it
yeah.
once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Someone's going to pick up Wilfred Zaha because he's on an
He's
expiring
gonna, yeah,
contract. Yeah, Palace isn't going to do much here.
yeah.
And yeah, I don't. Yeah. Now I said that guy is as much an enigma as anything as Manchester United, who did not look good, and Ronaldo
No,
who almost got into a fight, which was super funny.
Ronaldo, Captain Ronaldo, in that game. He was the captain. What?
They don't know what they're doing. It's
No,
lovely. It is
they have no
lovely that
idea.
they have
It's
no
wonderful.
clue what they're doing. But come on, Captain Ronaldo, that's the guy you want representing your club. The guy who wants so desperately wants out of it. And the second stint there, for God's sakes. Yeah, um, yeah. So he's got yeah. There's gonna be some choices here for Emery coming in January. I'm not sure how long his contract is, but I'm sure they're giving him like a 3-year contract or something like that to start with. So
Yeah,
he's going to have this transfer window, the next transfer. I hope he makes a lot of mistakes. I'll say that because I do not like Aston Villa, not a single bit. All the best to you, but if you guys get relegated, I wouldn't cry myself to sleep over it like I did last night. All right, Southampton and the club that's setting the league on fire right now in Newcastle. This was destruction. Although the Saints had some chances, the Saints, especially in that first half, they had a lot of chances. Uh, but you know, Miguel Almiron, like, is there a player that special right now with his kind of skill set? Can just keep the ball in his foot. Like if you'll notice that in his goal, the guy almost kind of it looks like he almost taps the ball back, but I think it was just Almiron stopping the ball and then bringing it forward with his back behind him and then going around. Incredible goal by Miguel Almiron. 4-1 final. It was yeah. Newcastle on friggin' fire now. Third in the league. Newcastle of all teams. I'm not a
yeah,
huge fan of it. Not a huge fan of it. And neither was Southampton, who decided to. That's it, Ralph. Oh God, what's Hassan Hoodle? Is that right? Am I getting
Hasenhüttl.
close to
Yes,
Hassan Hoodle? They
close,
said it
close
takes.
enough. It doesn't matter. We're never gonna have to say it again.
Yeah, that's right. You and your $14 name. get out. And so they friggin' sent him packing. It was like, okay. I don't know what he was supposed to
Yeah.
do. It's like, I don't know. Like, everybody in Southampton was waiting for all this glory or anything like that. But yeah, they've been getting beat. But I believe they beat Chelsea this year. So there you go.
Yeah. Um, I'm
Ralph
not
House and
surprised Hassan
Hoodle, we
Hoodle.
hardly knew you.
I'm not surprised he's gone. I mean,
No.
I think everybody's been anticipating a managerial change at Southampton since the beginning of the season. Finally, is happening. I'm just curious who they're going to go and get because you got to figure there's going to be some World Cup managers.
You'd think there's
Think,
maybe play next week with a custodian or something like that. Here's the
yeah,
deal. They're talking to Nathan Jones right now. Nathan Jones of Luton Town. Yeah, that's your Southampton Saints. They're picking, they're farming the lower leagues for their managerial talent. Nathan Jones, good old Luton. Yeah, Luton Town. So there you go. What else I had? West Ham versus Palace. Now, another 2-1 win for Palace, another loss for the Hammers, which is fine. Benema, an outstanding strike to put West Ham up first. Again, this was a week for goals, guys. But Zaha came, equalized, and Olise would win it after another a jaw dropping shot from outside the box, inside the post. And Antonio, had a chance to tie it, but got a penalty. But they called it back on VAR, and I think rightly so. It seemed he seemed to go down awful fast, and I don't know why VAR, would uphold the call versus Man City with De Bruyne and let this one go because they're both equally soft. It was a soft penalty call, and so yeah, I think it was the right call to make. Um, but it just exposes how how wishy washy calls can be for penalties these days. Adelia, I was just talking about the Antonio play inside the box where he got dragged down. I'm not sure if you saw that.
I
Well, when we say
think I
dragged
did.
down, when we say dragged down, it's barely touched and then flopped like he got shot.
Well,
So
yeah,
yeah, so I was saying I think they got it right. I think they got it right that like VAR got, even though it was called a penalty, they got it right that it was not a penalty. But I'm saying like between that and De Bruyne's, I don't see I don't see how it's any different. How VAR could allow De Bruyne's to stand and then call back the one on Antonio because they were just both so equally soft. Make no make no sense to me. But
yeah,
at least this time is the right result where there's no penalty. Now, at least that's what the last match. I think it was the last match of the week. I think so. It's just the later match on Sunday. Spurs and Liverpool at good old Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Famous Tottenham Hotspur Stadium because they haven't gotten anyone to buy the name yet or something like that. Sounds better
it
than White
cracks me
Hart
up.
Lane.
Still don't. It
Tot-
cracks me up. They still don't have naming rights to that stadium sold.
they have the
They're
NFL
hosting
playing there.
NFL
Like,
games. Yeah, they're hosting NFL games at that stadium, and there's still not naming rights to that stadium.
just got the NFL to name it or something like that. Anyways, here we go with another weird Liverpool upset victory. It seems they only play against the top four guys. Uh, Mo Salah, is Mo Salah back? Should we now expect this from Mo Salah? The 2-goal performance. The first one was very nice. Um, and Darwin Nunez, I think this is his best game as a Red by far, and he didn't even headbutt anybody,
I'd
which
agree
is
with that.
good for you,
Yeah,
Darwin.
that, that's a plus. He stayed on the pitch this time.
Yeah. Uh, Eric Dyer's giveaway, that weird header back with no
Oh,
power
that was
and goes
so
off his
bad.
shoulder. I'm trying to think of worse giveaways this year, and I couldn't until I remembered, of course, that Mendy for Chelsea just giving that ball to that Leeds player or whatever at the side of the net for no fucking reason at all. But anyways, it was yeah. So it was 2-0 Liverpool in the first half, and then it was all Tottenham in the second half, and it was Liverpool just hanging on. Of course, the guy to get it back is goddamn Harry Kane. Uh, and again, he gets inside, he'll get to the ball, guys. Like you have to have two guys on him at all times, but it didn't matter. But they couldn't get the equalizer. Justice is done. Tottenham loses. It's for that and that reason alone that I'm sitting here talking to you. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, yeah, I hate, I hate when Chelsea loses. I hate it. Do I love it more when Tottenham loses? Like, do I do I love a Tottenham win more than I love a Chelsea, like a Tottenham loss, more than I love a Chelsea win? I'm wondering that. I'd sure love to see them disappointed. I know.
I
I'm getting
I
used to.
do
I'm
love
getting used to
Tottenham
watching
losing.
Chelsea lose. Yeah, it
I
is.
love it when Tottenham loses.
And boy, do they whine. And seeing Antonio Conte's depressed face is always fun.
He got
It
another
makes my
yellow
day better.
card.
Yeah,
I
he'll
I think
argue it.
I was
He'll
I
give.
was on Twitter and I saw somebody say something along the lines of, "Man, Spurs can look worse than a pub team sometimes, can't they?" And they look bad at times in that first half.
It was the first half. They were absolutely terrible. And this is at home. It was yeah. That was surprising. It was at home. Um, yeah, the second half so much better, but the damage was already done. But they really came at him at the end, and I think it was Allison, whatever played it, lights out. Allison named to the Brazil uh, World Cup squad. Some interesting names put on there. Martinelli makes it on this time.
Two of our three Brazilian
Yeah,
Gabriels made it to the
yeah,
World Cup squad.
the only
I
Chelsea
was, I
guy.
was honestly thinking that it was only going to be Gabriel Magalhaes from Arsenal, and instead he took the two forwards and left Gabriel the
No,
defenseman at home.
yeah, Thiago Silva makes it. Uh, yeah, again, people who strong, I'd say strong betting favorite this year for the World Cup, but we'll be talking World Cup later, guys. Not on this
Yeah.
show. We still got, God damn it, we still got Premier League to go. Now, finish the matches. There's one thing we do, guys, and we put on our prognosticating hats inside who's going to win, who's going to lose every week. Now, I had not had a good run of form lately. Adelia has been mopping up the place with my blood and my tears. But this week a huge change. Rob wins, no problem, 8-3. Uh, and it would have been 9-3, but I wanted to say Arsenal was going to win, but I decided that would not be fun at all. So one of my lost to Chelsea. We both picked Everton to beat Leicester. I think
That
correctly.
didn't
I
work
think
out so well.
yeah, it's just wasn't a great finish. And we also both picked Man U to win. Again, another case of yeah,
You should
they
have thought
shouldn't
about
have.
that new manager
Well,
bounce with
that
Villa.
they got the bump. They got the new manager bump.
Yep.
Chelsea didn't get it again. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight once again. Yeah, the one big part was you had a draw for the Leeds Bournemouth game.
I was
That took
close.
a point. That took a point for you. Well,
I
for God's sake.
almost got to that.
Yeah. It's like you just wanted them to stop going as soon as it hit extra time. And again, with all the stupid long extra time. So
There was a lot of long extra
one of the
times.
games in the first half, they had 8 minutes of extra time. What the hell is going on here, guys?
Yeah,
Um,
I was watching highlights. Forget which game that was, and it was the 56-minute, 52nd minute or something, and it was still added time on the first half. I was like, what is happening?
bananas. It's bananas. All right. Last week before the World Cup, it starts. Ooh, with a doozy. City versus Brentford at the Etihad.
City.
Yeah, City. If
I will not be up
if
at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch that game.
no, if they if they do drop that game, I'll eat this sheet. Guarantee
Okay.
not to guarantee. Uh, cannot be guaranteed. Bournemouth, Everton. This is an interesting one to pick.
Is that Bournemouth?
Yes.
If it wasn't for Bournemouth's habit of giving up 2-3 goal leads in the last few weeks, I might
Mm.
just go straight up with them at home. But I think I'm gonna go for a draw.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. It's like I do not trust either of these teams to want to win, so I'm going draw. Now, who? Here you go. Here's something you could test your uh, manager bump here. We got Liverpool and Southampton.
Liverpool.
Yeah, it's gonna be Liverpool. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ooh, Spurs and Leeds. Spurs at home once again at famous Tottenham Hotspurs Arena.
I, I want Leeds to win that game, but I think Spurs probably will.
Leeds can find goals, and
Yeah.
Spurs can leak them, but they can also score them. But Leeds can score back. Like we're down 3-1. I'm gonna say a draw for this one. I'm gonna say a draw.
Okay.
That's mostly wishful thinking, I think. But yeah, just to write down that we both think Spurs is gonna win would make my stomach upset. Um,
Yeah.
we got Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace. This is Nottingham.
This one's difficult, but I think I'll go for a draw.
Okay, I'm taking Palace. I like their run of form lately, and they can score, and they got two guys that can do it, maybe three. So I'm gonna take them. Plus, Forest just had a good game. Do they ever put two games back to back? Well, we'll see.
No.
This one is another interesting one. West Ham and Leicester.
I think I'm gonna go Leicester. West Ham just do not look convincing at all.
They don't, but they're at home. But I do like the way Leicester's played lately. I'm gonna say Leicester as well. And here's one that could cause me absolute fucking heartbreak. Newcastle and Chelsea
At St. James's Park,
at St. James's Park.
Newcastle.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say that Chelsea wins. So it's either gonna be, do I think that Chelsea can hold them to a draw, or are they gonna lose? That'd be 5 games of poor results in a row. If they do, I'm gonna say they draw. That's gonna be a draw. I think
Okay.
they'll have enough, hopefully. But without Reece James, like how are you gonna hold up Miguel Almiron? Come on. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be tough. Speaking of super tough, Wolves and Arsenal are next.
Arsenal. I know it's at Molyneux, but Lopetegui's not starting until after the World Cup, so I'm hoping we avoid the new manager bounce here. And
Oh, sure. Is Diego Costa
we should
back
be
for
able to
that?
beat them anyways. No,
Yeah,
Diego
you guys.
Costa, I don't believe is back for this.
No, that wouldn't matter. I think you guys are gonna win by 4, anyways. Brighton and Villa. Ooh, this one could be a good one too. Good matches here. Some good matches. Brighton and Villa
Yeah. I'll go
on the
Brighton.
south coast. On the south coast, Brighton. Mm, I'm gonna go with a Villa win on the road.
Interesting.
I like the way they played against Man U. Speaking of who, they round out the week on the road at Craven's Cottage against the pieces of shit in Fulham.
They should be able to beat Fulham, but
Ooh,
they should have been able to beat Villa too.
ooh, yes. What's it gonna
No, I'll still go
be?
Manu. Still
Okay,
go
I'm
Man
taking.
United.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Fulham at home. Uh, again because I hate Man U. And Fulham has Willian at least, and even though I should hate Mitrovic because he's a Canadian who plays for Serbia, but I don't. I really like him. So I if he's back, which I doubt he will be, but if he's back, I would say I have no problem saying Fulham. But if he isn't, I'm still gonna say Fulham. But it could, yeah. It again, this is a toss-up week. I think this week could go either way, with the exception, Arsenal's get to beat the shit out of the Wolves. Like that isn't gonna say anything, and City's gonna beat the shit out of Brentford. So you got two guarantees in there, and the rest are who knows? We'll see. Okay, so that's it. Next week we talk about these matches. At some point, we're going to talk World Cup. Is that
Yep.
starting up? Uh, but for now, Adelia, what the hell's going on with you?
It's not much going on with me personally, but
Hmm.
stuff going on with the Let's Get Ready Network. We've launched a new channel on YouTube just for our sports content. It's called Let's Get Ready Network The Highlights. There will be a link to it in the description of this episode. And starting not next week, but I think the week after, this show will be on YouTube on that channel every week when there is an episode. So that's exciting news.
They don't even have to pay to see our faces anymore.
No, they don't.
Baloney, baloney. What the hell? Guys, let's get ready network. .com, and you can go to the merch store. You can get a shirt like this, just in case you have a surprise wedding or
Yeah, it's
a
lots of starting
close
11 merch on there.
close a close family member's funeral. When you have to look your very best. Graduation. You think starting 11 merch. You can get that. Let's get ready network.com. At some point, my Sunday show with Danny will come back after he's out, finished gallivanting across the world.
Yep,
Uh,
that should be
other
soon.
than that, yes, other than that, you'll see us back here starting 11 next week. And hopefully my heart will have healed, but I doubt it.
We shall see. It's going to be something if Newcastle keeps this run up. So we shall see. But until
Ooh,
next
that'll be
time,
something.
we'll see you then.